Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. My name is Sudhir Bakru. I'm a product manager here at Salesforce, work in the Community Cloud team. I'm here with Gayatri Geeta. She's a fellow product manager as well. Together, we work in the larger Community Cloud organization and work mainly on Community Cloud and, of course, Salesforce CMS. Before we get started today, just a quick raise of hands. How many folks here are familiar with Community Cloud and communities in general? All right, so I'd say about 50% of you. Anyone heard of Salesforce CMS? How about CMS for Community Cloud? Okay, some of you. Awesome. So thank you so much. I'll, so what we wanted to actually talk about was control access permissions for users to build brand-forward digital experiences. That's pretty much what our marketing team told us to write. But bottom right, what we want to discuss today is persona-based access control for your communities and for your Salesforce CMS as well. So that's what we'll talk about today. Just a quick thank you to all of you, not only for being here and giving us your valuable time, but also trusting us with your business if you're already using Salesforce today, or even are considering using Salesforce for any of your business initiatives. Pretty sure you've not seen this yet, or maybe seen it 25 times already, but I still need to call it out. Anything that today, some of the stuff that we will be talking about might be roadmap items in beta as well. So please do make any of your purchasing decisions based on what's available in production and what's generally available today. Agenda, like I said, we want to talk about persona-based access control and why it's important to have it and what kind of feedback we've heard from our customers. We'll walk you through a quick demo of how persona-based access control works, and we'd love to show you a roadmap and of course jump into Q&A. We've got 20 minutes, so if we are short on time, we'll definitely stop by on the side of the stage and answer any questions if we don't get time for Q&A. Now, since not all of you are familiar with communities, I just want to give a quick introduction here. With Community Cloud, you can build visually stunning digital experiences using your business data by clicks, right? What that means really is, like, our customers use this for a bunch of use cases, right? So one example would be if you're an insurance company and you want your customers, your users, to come to a site, to an app or a mobile site and get information about their insurance or file a claim, they would use a use case like customer portal. Another example would be you could be probably selling physical devices, right? Hardware devices that you want to sell. You probably want your customers to come and engage in a forum and talk to each other. So customer forum is like self-service is another example here. Partner community, yet another example. If you work with resellers, with resellers and your partners, and you want all of them to have the information about your products or know about all of the marketing, all of the sales information and marketing information through distributed marketing, you would again use Community Cloud. These are not only the use cases that our customers build these digital experience with, but I wanted to call them out just quickly because not everyone has information on this. Now, to build these digital experiences, we offer you a bunch of product features, product sets. The three that we will focus on today are going to be Community Workspaces. I'm a big aviation geek, so I like thinking of everything in airplanes, right? So think of workspaces as your flight your cockpit, right? Where you're in, you have access to administrating your digital experience, your community, being able to moderate your community, or even being able to manage gamification and all of that. Community Builder is another area that we'll focus on. This is where you design your digital experience. You decide what kind of page layout your digital experience should have. What should it look like on your mobile device? Right? This is what you do on Builder. And on the third area is Salesforce CMS. And Gayatri will go into a bit of detail into this, but this is where you manage your content. You define your content, you author your content, and you've got different personas that work on these spaces. So, so when we think of these three different areas, the feedback that we get from our customers is, hey, what you have available today gives access to a community builder or to a workspace or CMS. So if I'm a user of communities, it gives me all the access to all the features to these products, right? So what our customers have told us, they want to give granular access. So your team, you could be working with a team of 10 content authors or website builders, and you want to choose to have like someone who can only go view the site but cannot publish it to production. You probably want someone who can only author content but cannot push it to a community. You want to control all of these granular accesses, and that is what we're going to go into. So, like I said, when users have access today to the community builder, workspaces, CMS, they have complete access to all functionality, right? So there's no ability to define a granular single piece of access. So what we've launched partly right now, and we're working on it for a future release as well, is persona-driven access control. And what that really means is that you can create roles, right, based on personas. So you could say, we define out-of-the-box roles like content authors or content or content admins, where we associate each role with a set of permissions or access features. So a quick example is here, right? So if you've got a Salesforce CMS app, or you've got a community, for example, each community, of course, has a set of users, but you want these users to be associated with a set of features. Now, you would go in and, we would have a set of roles. A role could be a builder, right? A builder would not have access to a set of features, like it could be not being able to access publishing a community, right? So we've designed these roles that are offered out of the box, which you can assign to a user or a group of users, right? That gives, when I'm in builder, it gives me only access to these particular feature sets and not all of it. We will go into details of what role belongs to what persona, and then how are we thinking about the roadmap vision as well of the product. Now, quickly, Gayatri will show you a demo. What I want you to take away over here is, the idea over here is that we've got Builder, we've got Workspaces, we've got Salesforce CMS, and we're trying to control the access for each of the users based on who they are, what persona they are, and what they can access on the app. Gayatri, do you want to take it from here?
Yeah, sounds good. Hey, folks, I'm Gayatri. So today we're going to be, for this demo, focusing on a company called Rad Sports. Now think of Rad Sports as a sports manufacturer, a sports apparel manufacturer, like a Nike or an Adidas, right? So they are a multinational company. And Eric Ware, some of you might be familiar with this guy. He's a person who wears multiple hats. He's a Salesforce admin. He's a community admin. And I'm going to show you his journey. How does he use Salesforce CMS, and how does he use our community workspaces to build out this really nice digital experience? So for this demo, let me go ahead and log in. All right. So Sudhir alluded to it a little bit. But as of summer, if you're familiar with CMS, we used to have CMS within the community cloud, community workspaces. But as of summer, we've decoupled it. So now you have a Salesforce CMS Lex app that your customers can go ahead and access. So when Eric logs in here, what he sees here is a list of all these different CMS workspaces. So what is a CMS workspace, you may ask? So think of a CMS workspace as a way for you to segment content to serve a purpose, right? So here, Rad Sports, like I said, was a multinational company. So they may have multiple regional teams, like somebody out of Latin America or Asia Pacific or Europe. They may want to have their own content, their own set of people who are collaborating on this. They may want to share it to certain sites. Similarly, you might have some global marketing managers who might want to have more global assets that they want to go and syndicate to different regional sites. So what Eric is doing here is, you see, these are all the workspaces available to him. And he goes into, let's say, the global marketing hub, right? So he clicks into that. And this is where he sees all of the content that's actually been authored here. And with CMS, I think a quick refresher, you can, of course, author lots of different types of content like banners and blogs. And you can actually have a lot of rich content, whether it's images, videos, etc. So there's all this content that people can create. Once you've created this content, it's important to now publish it, right? Like if you have 3 or 4 communities, how awesome to publish it to all at once rather than doing it one by one, right? So that's what this new functionality lets you do. As Eric, since I'm the content admin, I have the ability to go ahead and syndicate this. So I have shared it with 3 separate destinations, 3 separate communities right now. But it's very easy for me to go ahead and add other destinations. And any content that I publish here, boom, it's automatically available to all of these different communities at once. The third thing you can do, and we'll talk about it a little bit is this notion of contributors, right? So your regional sites might have their own set of contributors. Your global sites might have their own set of contributors. So this is where Eric comes in. And you see there are some out-of-the-box roles that we offer, which is the content admin as well as content manager. And Eric, what he does is he goes ahead, he looks at all the different members in his org. You can add both users as well as public groups and give them a certain role. So I'm going to go ahead and search for Gordon Ross here. And I'm going to give him the role of a content manager, right? I don't want him to be an admin. I'm going to add him here. So now he can start collaborating in this space. And so let me just switch over very quickly and show you what Gordon Ross's view looks like right now. So here I am. I'm now Gordon Ross. And hey, this obligatory verify your username screen. And yeah, once I'm in there, let's actually look at what workspaces he has access to. So he has a very different view, right? Because he's only been added to a couple of different workspaces. The first thing access control does is control membership. So now you can see that, hey, I have access to the marketing team hub that I was just added to, and he's also part of the North America team. I click into this, I see the same view of content. I can, in fact, go and edit content. I can publish content. But because he's a content manager and not an admin, he's not able to see the call to action to add a certain destination or the call to action to add other contributors. He only has read-only rights. So this is what you can do with persona-based access control. So now, heading back to our site, you have all of this great content created by all your different members of your organization, and it's now been shared to different sites. Now, I'm going to show you how, using CMS, you can power experiences like this. So this is a Rad Sports website that they've actually gone ahead and created, where they're talking about their new London Marathon that they are sponsoring. But all of this content that you're seeing on here, that's all getting authored from CMS, getting pushed here, syndicated here. And to do all of this, how does somebody go in and build this out? Well, they go into community workspaces, right? So this is kind of like your mission control, as Sudhir mentioned, the place that you come to like build, manage, and moderate your community. And this is where, when Eric logs in, he goes into content management, and he sees all of the content that's immediately available from Salesforce CMS that's syndicated here, including this top sneakers content that he just authored. Now, in addition to having all of this content, what he can do is now declaratively build out. You want to build out a beautiful site experience with all of this rich content, so he switches over to the community builder, right? And the community builder is where declaratively you can drag and drop different components on the page and build out this experience. So an example here, let's go ahead and just use our CMS content for fun. So here, I'll drag in a CMS component. I'll go ahead and I'll choose the same content that I chose earlier, which was the top sneaker shoes for 2019. You have a lot of different, with the builder, declaratively, you have a lot of different options to customize this. So I'm going to go ahead and change the look and feel. Why not? This looks better. And you do all of this. You preview it. It looks great. All right, you can go ahead and publish. So this is what a customer would be able to do to build out this experience. Now, switching back, just wanted to give you a quick summary, right, of what you saw. On the left here is what we have available for summer. So you have the notion of defining out-of-the-box roles for Salesforce CMS. So you have the content admin, the content manager. If you're the admin, you have godlike rights. You can manage sharing. You can manage collaborators. Well, if you're the content manager, you just have permissions with content. In winter, we're going to extend this to community workspaces and builder as well. So what this means is you'll now have 4 more additional out-of-the-box roles when you go into community workspaces. The administrator can do lots of things. They have full builder access. They can manage contributors. You look at a site publisher, they should be able to publish the site, but they don't have admin capabilities like managing contributors. You have the builder who can go and drag and drop different things on the page, but he has to get approvals before he publishes, so he cannot publish, so he just builds out the page for you. And then you have this previewer. I mean, we all have folks in the organization who want to just look at the content, make sure it's OK. So they have read-only access to the builder, but they're not able to do anything else. So these are some of the out-of-the-box roles that we will be getting in winter as well. But that's not the end. We have a lot more exciting things planned out when it comes to access control. So in winter and beyond, we will introduce out-of-the-box roles for the builder and workspaces, like I mentioned. But then you, as a developer, as a partner, you'll also be able to go and define your own custom roles and permissions. So if you wanted to create a design ninja role who had certain capabilities, you can, of course, do that. You can also, within CMS, that's an area of considerable investment for us. And so there, you're going to start seeing the ability to start creating nested folders to organize content. And you might have, you might want to model your access control differently, right? You might have different business processes and rules. And so you might want to have hierarchical access control that models this team collaboration. And lastly, with CMS, we are introducing different content types. So through APIs, in fact, in winter, you're going to be able to define a blog content type, a banner content type, whatever content types you want. And if you want to have more granular access for each of those content types, like maybe Rob can only publish blog content type, but he cannot actually publish banners, you can actually do that as well. So we'll give you really the right level of controls to model it however you want. That's where we're going with this.
Yeah, I can take it from here. So quickly, right? So Gayatri, like they've been. So what we have right now, what we're shipping right now, are out-of-the-box roles. So that's where the permissions or the access has been defined. Where we want to take this, or we plan to take this, like Gayatri covered from a roadmap perspective, is now getting custom roles where you define what access you want to give to a particular persona or a particular user. So that's where we want to take this. That's almost it for what we wanted to present, but we do want to talk about a little bit about our different sessions for Community Cloud and Salesforce CMS. There's a lot going on at TrailheadX, and I hope all of you are having a great time here. But for Community Cloud and Salesforce CMS, there are a bunch of events we have, a bunch of sessions we have that are going on across. If you're interested in learning a lot more of detail, be it for access control, be it for Salesforce CMS, be it for Community Cloud, there's a booth we have downstairs in the developer campground. Please do plan on visiting that. There's a lot more information. You'll actually have not only product managers, you'll have developers and solution engineers who actually build a lot of solutions for communities there to even talk to you about the product. And of course, we've got a bunch of events. Just quickly a review of all the sessions that we have. So please do plan to attend. Really useful information on communities in general. So yeah, thank you so much for visiting, and we'll be here if you have any questions for us. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, folks.